college is a coming of age time for many. People want to find out who they are and be that person, and I wasn't able to. The studying and the academics kept me distracted from, my insecurities of knowing that I was gay but not wanting to deal with that. I feel like it just became too much to handle. So I started to drink more and party more to forget what I was fighting. By the end of the third year, I had started to fail all of my classes. I was on academic probation and decided that dropping out was probably the next best step. I decided to move to Langley in with my sister, who was a drug addict at that time. Really depressed, chronically depressed, tough for me to get out of bed, using anything I could get my hands on. By then, my sister had not been paying her rent, and I came home one night to find the locks had been changed and all of our stuff was gone. So with the clothes on my back, I walked the streets of Langley, not sure what to do. It's a hard feeling to describe, being homeless. Take the moment you felt the most defeated and multiply that by 100. That's what it feels like. When you lose all hope, you can't compare it to anything. My rock bottom moment was waking up in a puddle, realizing I was homeless, with no other way out but suicide. That's as low as it gets. So I decided to try the Gateway of Hope out of desperation. Though unfortunately they were full the first night. Went back to the Gateway of Hope the next day, and thankfully a bed had come open, and that's when the transformation began for me. So the Gateway of Hope helped me initially by meeting my most basic needs. I walked through the door and was treated with kindness and respect and love. I was treated in a way that I had forgotten what that felt like. After a month of being in the shelter, I moved into the transitional housing program, which is where it really started to change. We had meetings with an advisor once a week. We had weekly counseling sessions. We had access to multiple courses from stress management and relapse prevention, boundaries, all of those things that you kind of need to learn when you're coming out of addiction. So that was really good for me, and being part of something started to build that, like I had purpose, like I had something to do. By the end of that first year, I was actually invited to speak at the Gateway of Hope golf tournament. And the owner of the golf course happened to be in the audience, and he came up to me and offered me a job. So I continued to stay in the program while I worked. So now with kind of my interpersonal stuff under control, then I started to deal with the fallout from living in addiction. I had a lot of debt. I didn't have my driver's license or even ID at one point. So being able to work, save money, use that money for things that are important, but you can't really do if you have to support yourself fully, was that next chapter. By the end of the second year, I had saved enough money. I was now working full-time at the golf course, was really equipped with confidence and was free from depression, and I moved out into market housing. Winter was around the corner, and I thought that it was time for me to explore looking at social services, and was actually encouraged by a staff member to apply as a casual at Gateway of Hope in the shelter. In November of 2012, I applied and was accepted. So after about a year of being casual, I went into a full-time role in the shelter, did that for a couple of years. So now I am the residential services supervisor. I feel like it's important for me to be here. Me having walked through the door, broken, defeated, and being able to come full circle into this role gives me a unique perspective. When I'm coaching staff, I can share with them the difference that treating somebody with love and kindness does compared to barking at somebody. Without the support from the community around it, stories like mine wouldn't exist. Other people's stories wouldn't exist. I can say without a doubt that this place saved my life.